Hello everyone, and welcome to game number 7 from the 2013 World Chess Championship match between Viswanathan Anand and Magnus Carlsen. Before we check out the game, since I gave you a lot of problems in the previous photo challenge, here we have a very simple one. So best of luck to everyone. Here it is. Who is this legendary chess player? Now, I will not give you any hints, but I will say that in a certain candidates tournament, he was able to defeat none other than Vasily Smyslov with the black pieces and in 18 moves. So if you haven't seen that game, I will put a link to it in the description below, but no cheating. First try to figure out who we're referring to, only then, if you haven't, check out that game, as it's quite a lovely game. So I didn't find any photos from round 7. Still weird, you know, so many photographers but no photos. So we do have one from the press conference that was taken after the game. You know, just at least check out some photos. So let's see it. Once again, Anand has the white pieces and he opens with e4. We have e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, and the bishop to b5. So the loop is opening. And Carlsen once again goes for knight to f6, the Berlin defense. And it's very interesting, last time the Berlin defense was used in a World Chess Championship match was in 2000 when Kramnik used it to beat Garry Kasparov. And, you know, it's very interesting that Carlsen, who is basically Kasparov's student, now uses the Berlin defense to take the World Chess Championship title away from Anand. D3, again, Anand tries to avoid the main line and plays this timid D3 move, but he prepared something else for this game. Bishop to C5, and now bishop captures on C6. So, getting rid of the bishop pair very early in the game, and he will try to steer the game in this direction. D captures on c6, and now knight b to d2. It's a move Anand knows that both him and Carlsen played many of times with both white and the black pieces. If someone might be wondering why not grab the e5 pawn, if you grab it, then queen d4 wins the game immediately. Due to the threat of checkmate, after you stop that, then you simply lose the knight. So that being said, knight b d2. We have bishop to g4 and now h3. And here bishop captures on f3 is possible, and this is probably, well, not probably, definitely what Anand had in his preparation, as there is a well-known game between Adams and Fressinet from 2012 that continued knight back to d7. Queen g3, going for g7, queen f6, and knight c4. But Carlsen completely avoids this. After h3, he goes bishop to h5. We have knight to f1, knight to d7, and now knight to g3, attacking the bishop. Now you could retreat the bishop to g6, but Carlsen doesn't mind exchanging some more pieces, as he is 2 points in the lead, and you know, he doesn't mind exchanging pieces while playing black. Bishop captures, queen captures, and now g6, constricting the movement of the knight on g3. Castling would be a bit too early, because then after knight to f5, you don't want to allow knight to f5, you don't have a light square bishop, and now you can't even kick it away, because h6 is coming, king g7, h4, h5, white is already on the attack, he has a better position. So instead, the simple g6, not allowing this knight to go anywhere, and the bishop to e3. We have queen to e7. Carlsen keeps his options open. Either he will castle queenside or kingside. He doesn't want a sharper game. If Anand castles queenside, then Carlsen will probably also castle queenside. So Anand does castle queenside, and Carlsen also castles queenside. We have knight to e2, rook h to e8, and now king to b1. b6, making some room for the king. h4, king to b7, and now h5, forcing open the h file. Bishop captures on e3 and queen captures on e3. Queen captures on e3 is the best move, but due to the current standings, Carlsen is 2 points in the lead after 6 rounds. F captures on e3 would give white definitely more options. The position would become more flexible, and maybe there would be more options for Anand to choose from. But okay, he goes queen captures on e3, and now knight to c5. We have h captures on g6, h captures on g6, and now g3. Carlsen pushes a5, although rook to h8 would have been very nice also. But he sees no problem in allowing this rook lift by Anand. Rook to h7 and now rook to h8, immediately challenging the rook. Rook d to h1 and now rook captures and first queen to f6, immediately threatening rook to h8. He wants to get rid of the other pair of rooks as well. We have f4, rook h8 and now rook captures. Queen captures on h8 and now f captures on e5. Queen captures on e5 and now queen to f3. d4 doesn't work, of course, since queen captures on e4, the queen on e3 is unprotected. Once you trade, then you're just down a pawn as white. So after queen to e5, we have queen to f3, and now Carlsen, it's a completely drawn position without someone actually blundering something. It's very unlikely that something can happen here. So here Carlsen just tries to be funny. He plays f5, and here we have e captures on f5. G captures on f5. Queen captures on f5 doesn't really work because of queen captures, g captures, and the knight d4. Black will now lose this pawn. But here, after e captures on f5, we have g captures on f5, and now it seems like Carlsen is now really allowing d4 to lose a piece, but it wouldn't achieve anything. d4 simply runs into knight to e4. And now after we capture the queen, now knight to d2 checks the king and will win back the queen, and after you push this to protect it, king comes here, and this will be a better position for black. Probably white will not be able to keep an eye on this pawn. So after g5 we have c3. Now Anand is preparing d4. We have knight to e6, getting the knight out of the way, king c2, knight to g5, attacking the queen, queen to f2, and now knight back to e6. Here Anand repeated, we have queen to f3, knight g5, and here Anand didn't find a better continuation, so once again he repeated queen to f2, and Carlsen, of course, being 2 points in the lead after six round, doesn't mind a threefold repetition, so he repeats it, knight to e6, and here we have a draw by threefold repetition. So yeah, that's game number 7. It wasn't a very long game, exchanges, a lot of exchanges did happen rather quickly. The game lasted 32 moves, and now after 7 games, Carlsen is still 2 points in the lead. And out of the 5 remaining games, if the 5 games will happen, Carlsen will have the white pieces in 3 games, and Anand will only have the white pieces in 2 games. So it's a very hard position for Anand. Not impossible, but you have to win at least 2 games. And even then, you don't keep your title if after 12 games, we already said this, if after 12 games the result is still a draw, then the players will go into a playoff with some rapid and blitz games. And today it's so, everything is so modern, everything has to be fast. In this year's World Chess Championship match, there will probably even be a bullet contest after after they draw the blitz and rapid section. But yeah, we'll have to see. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Danny McCullough, William Gray, Carlos Crespo Motolese, Johan Lan, and Gil Troitza for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. I will make both of them games from this World Chess Championship match, Game 6 and Game 5. Both games very nice decisive games, very nice display of endgame skills by Carlsen, so do check it out if you haven't. And also do check out the entire 2013 Candidates Tournament series if you haven't. Also some very nice games there, and it's always nice to further improve your vast knowledge. So yeah, once again, thank you all, and I will see you soon.